In the Toronto zone, there is a subway line that no longer appears on maps. Old operators used to call it the Blue Thread. Before the catastrophe, it ran north, towards sleeping districts, shopping plazas, lit apartment windows, cheap dinners, arguments over bills, the ordinary weight of a city still alive. Now the train still comes sometimes, not on schedule, once a month, twice in a week, then not again for half a year, as if the city is digesting something in the dark and does not wish to be interrupted. Stalkers know the rule. If, in an empty tunnel, you hear not the rumble first, but a distant woman's cough, you leave, because then the train is full, no one knows with what. Kurman, Dyatel, and a young stalker called Soul went down there for medicine, not myth. There was an old med block near a sealed underground clinic interchange. If anything had survived, it would be antiseptics, bandages, ampules, something clean enough to matter. Above ground, wet snow had begun to fall. In the zone, snow makes everything worse. They moved without flashlights, only under red headlamp glow dimmed by cloth. The tile underfoot was wet like a tongue. The station walls were covered in old ads, coffee, dentistry, mortgages, smiling promises of a better life. On every poster, the faces had begun to blister and swell, as if the paper was remembering it had once been trees. "Fast," Kurman said. "We take what we can and go up." They had almost found the hatch when the sound came from the tunnel. Not metal, not wheels. First, a cough. Soft, female, tired. The kind of cough someone hides so they do not wake a child. Saul went pale first. She was younger than the other two. She believed less in legends and more in fear. Then the lights appeared in the dark, uneven, old, yellow. The train came slowly, too slowly, as if it was not moving forward but remembering how to move. Its doors were open, the lights inside were on. There were people in the carriages. At first, that is what it seemed. Then Dyatel understood they were not people. They were shapes, too still, too neat, too quiet to belong to anything alive. One figure leaned against the window, leaving the suggestion of breath on the glass. But when the train drew closer, it became clear the head was not resting against the pane with a forehead, but with something swollen and formless, as if the face had melted inward. Kurman did not keep looking. "Back," he said. But Saul was already frozen in place. In the third carriage, by the open door, stood a girl of about 8, blue school coat, one hand raised, waving at her. The train never stopped. It only crawled past the platform, no announcements, no footstep noise, no rustle of clothing. Only when the last carriage passed did all three hear the sound they would later fail to sleep through. Inside the train, someone was tapping their fingernails very softly, very politely against the glass. They reached the surface with no medical crates, no supplies, no trophies. Saul kept looking behind her the whole way back. She whispered that the girl had been alive. 2 weeks later, Saul disappeared. No blood, no struggle, just gone during an overnight halt beside an abandoned car wash. And on the concrete wall beside her bedroll, someone had written one short phrase with a wet finger: "Did not arrive." Then, very faintly, from far away, the sound of a woman coughing in a tunnel.